So Claude has released a very interesting project known as Computer Use, which is an AI system. It's not exactly like a new model or anything, so it's Claude only. But it's interesting because it can control your computer. It can act as how you act. For example, using a keyboard and a mouse for clicking around here and there with the intelligence of the state-of-the-art models. Let's take a look at in this video how this works. So this is the blog post that came out today, which is interesting because I've read this yesterday also, so I'm not sure like what time zone this is working on. But anyway, this is a blog post which probably could be one of the most important things of modern AI and the systems built with that, right? Because so far, traditionally, what has happened is that if you look at AI always has been restricted in a box, which the box is actually a browser, right? So this is a browser, this is a sandbox environment, and your whole computer is a huge, bigger thing, right? Which can do so much more in terms of running applications, in terms of controlling this browser instance itself, making notes, scheduling calls, reminders, all of that. And so far, only the AI has been able to interact using APIs with other parts of your system, right? Or remote systems, right? Even if it is like, something like a calendar app, for example. So in order for this AI to interact with your calendar app, it has to use something known as APIs, which is like a endpoint which is exposed by this app. You have to feed this to this AI, and then it is able to use the application in a specific way. This architecture is not limiting. It's 100% like, it's 100% scalable in terms of what you can do with this. The problem here is that the tooling is not developed at all for any of this thing, right? So if let's say if I want my AI to play a game on my behalf, I can't do it unless I make that AI hook into that game's internals very deeply, right? So I need some level of API or some level of controls within that game, unless I give my AI control to my keyboard, mouse, and my operating system, which is what Anthropic is doing with this blog post, which is titled Computer Use Model. So let's go through this blog post really quick, and then I really want to do a hands-on with this whole thing itself. I'll just quickly recharge Anthropic's credits also so that we can try it out. So it says that a vast amount of modern work happens via computers, enabling AIs to interact directly with computers and software in the same way people do will unlock huge range of applications that simply aren't possible for current generation of AI assistants. So how I would put it is that it's possible with the current generation of AI assistants. It's not possible because of the infrastructure which is available, right? So not everything has an API right now. The human keyboard, vision, and mouse are the API for using everything, right? Basically everything you want to do, you can do it as a person. And if you just give all these three things to an AI also, it can also do that. So over the last few years, many important milestones have been reached in development of powerful AI. For example, the ability to perform complex logical reasoning, all of that. So this is like I've been saying from a very long time, the technology is here, the tooling is still work in progress, but this brings us one step closer in giving control of your computer to AI, which is slightly risky also, but we'll figure that out maybe once we create a powerful enough AI. So Claude says is that it is the state-of-the-art model that use computers in the same way as a person does. That is, from looking at a screen and taking actions in response. On one evaluation created to test developers' attempt to have models use their computer OS world, Claude currently gets 14.9%. That's nowhere near human level scale, which is generally 70 to 75, but it's far higher than 7.7 obtained by the next best AI model in the same category. So all in all, this blog post discusses a little bit about how Claude computer use thing works and what their safety thing is, and they even mention like one of the amusing errors which they got, that is like AI just started, in one instance Claude accidentally clicked to stop a long running screen recording, causing all the footage to be lost. In another, Claude suddenly took a break from coding demo and began to pursue photos of Yellowstone National Park, which is crazy. So you can give feedback to Claude team using this form, but the computer use, the technology is in public beta, so you can start using it right away, and that's what I want to do today. So what I'm going to do next is head on to Anthropic first of all and see that, obviously I don't have any balance so far, but what we have to do in order to run this technology is open this form, then open the GitHub link, and then figure out how do we run this. So let's try to figure this out. So you see that we have to use an Anthropic API key, and then we are using Docker and pulling image from GitHub container registry to start it. You can also use it on AWS, which is slightly cumbersome compared to Claude API, because here you just have to create an account, just give it an API, and you're good to go. You can also use it with Google Cloud models, but for now, I just want to run it directly via Claude, right? The Claude API. So first things first, we need an API key. So if I head over here and go to API keys, let me just create a quick key, YouTube demo And don't worry about the key. I will expose it in this video, but this will not be functional by the time this video is live. Well, you're free to try this key, so I mean, maybe I just forget. So anyway, so I'll copy this key. I'll keep it over here for now. So we have the key. We don't have the credit so far, so I'll just recharge the account real quick. But I want to do first, what I want to do is set up and see like if it's working properly or not. So the next thing is spinning up a terminal over here. Let me just zoom in real quick and get out of code.dam repository. So we need an Anthropic API key, and then we need a Docker run command. So let me just copy this whole thing and put it over here, and just put this API key over here as well, right? So what I don't want to do is export this as a variable. Maybe we can just run it directly within the command. So here we go. So what it is doing is that it's creating, let's understand also, right, what we are executing in the first place. So we are specifying an environment variable, which is what we passed over here. Then we are mounting a home.anthropic directory, which does not exist, by the way, right now. So if I look at this, you see that there is no Anthropic directory, so it will probably just create it on its own, or we can just create it, and it's using it home computer use Anthropic. So it's mounting it within itself. And then, you're exposing a bunch of ports. Some of them are VNC ports, right? So because you also want to use that, if I go down, you're going to see. So you can see Streamlit interface, desktop view only, and direct VNC connection. So you can use VNC and HTTP as well. VNC would, I'm assuming, would basically allow you to control the whole interface as well as a human, as well as AI. So let's try it out. Let's try this out. This is going to get interesting. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste this over here. It would not work because I don't have credentials, I don't have credits in Anthropic right now, but I just want to see. Okay, amazing. Amazing start. Let's open Docker first of all. So Docker is up, and now if we go ahead and run the command again, it's unable to find the image, which is expected. So it's pulling the image. It should take a couple of seconds to download. I'm not exactly sure how GitHub Container Registry works. I've never used this one, but we can check it out. So 8,000 people have already downloaded in this world out of 8 billion people. So you are in the top 0.00001, I don't know, % of people who are watching this video if you pull this image right now. So there are a couple of quick starts which are available. Customer support agent powered by Claude. This project demonstrates how to leverage Claude's natural language understanding. So there are certain guides, I think, which they have given you. Computer use demo is what we probably want, which is what we are using also, right? Okay, so this is also tagged computer use demo. So okay, this is Anthropic quick starts, and then there are tags. Okay, interesting. Is this image open source, what they're using? I've not used GitHub Container Registry, so I'm not sure like how images on over here are hosted and how they work. But yeah, looks like this image is open source. So it pulls in a whole Ubuntu instance, it installs a bunch of tools, it installs VNC, it sets up a user, it sets up Python. It doesn't look like it's doing a lot of things over here. Where is it cloning some sort of code that controls things? I'm assuming somewhere over here in this computer use demo directory, right? So this is the code which Anthropic's team has written in order to control your computer. We'll take a look at how all of this works. So now you can see computer use demo is ready. I'm interested to see how this works. So, okay, so this is the VNC instance, which is like the actual instance, the operating system that Claude has access to. Right? What else do we have? Security alert, never provide access to sensitive accounts or data such as malicious web content can hijack Claude's behavior. Please resolve the following auth issues. Enter your Anthropic API key in the sidebar to continue. And where is the key exactly? So here is the key. Not sure why it did not pick it from the environment variable itself, but never mind. Let's just enter this again. Okay, interesting. So now we have two logs over here. The first one is a chat log. The second one is an HTTP exchange logs. So let me try to chat with my computer, right? So the reason Claude needs a VNC and the reason it's not doing it on your own computer, which is the Mac OS itself, the reason it's running inside a container are a couple of reasons. The first one is the isolation, right? So you don't want Claude to blow up your computer, right? So you don't want to just do, in a funny way, can you delete all my files? And, Claude is like, sure, RMRF, no preserve root, something like this. So you don't want stuff like this to happen. That's why they are running it in a container. And the second thing is that I don't know if it is even possible for a software without privileges to control your keyboard and mouse, right? It will be like a sort of a security issue, could act as a malware. But anyway, let's try to say that open Firefox and visit fermion.app domain, right? Let's see. Yeah, so here we go. Your credit balance is too low. So let's go ahead and upgrade it first. So here we go, just recharged $5 for Claude for now. Of course, I'm assuming that this won't exceed $5 in cost, but if it does, we'll see. Anyway, getting back to our page again, let's try this prompt again. Let's see. Open Firefox and visit fermyon.app. Let's take a look what's happening. I'll help you open Firefox and navigate to Fermyon app. I'll first take a screenshot to locate Firefox icon and then click it and navigate to the website. Tool to use computer, input action, screenshot. So it's taking a screenshot. So how it's working is that it's taking a screenshot. It clicks on Firefox to open it. It's making some weird noises as it's browsing. I'm sure you can hear it on my mic. And it opened Fermyon, which is very interesting, right? So see, all of this is happening autonomously. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and say that, awesome, thank you so much. Can you tell me the pricing for Fermyon, which is, by the way, not live, right? It's not even linked on this page. We have one internal page on which it shows the pricing. So I just want to see if it can figure out the pricing automatically for Fermyon. Our pricing, by the way, is also in beta. So if you're somebody who's creating a technical course content sort of like this, check it out, Fermyon, right? Which now is automatically controlled by Claude itself. So let's try to see what it's trying to do, right? I see navigation menu with benefits section. Let me check that to see if it contains pricing info. Let's click. Let me go through another section. I'll try to see sell anything section as it might contain pricing information. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to check if Claude is able to figure out pricing on its own. It's not on this website. You need to go back to a search engine because the page is indexed, but it's not linked on the website. Okay, so it opened a demo form for Fermyon. I want to see if it fills it out or submits it or what it does with this. So after exploring the website, I can tell you that the platform is currently in beta access. Specific pricing information is not publicly displayed on the website. To get pricing information, you would need to schedule a personalized demo through the contact form at sales.fermyon.app/demo, which is, by the way, is also a good approach. You can contact us if you want to know a pricing or the whole platform in general. But can you try Google? Maybe if I say something like this, let's see what it does. So it's trying to use Google now. So it said Fermyon.app pricing, which is great. This is the exact term you would probably write. And the first link says pricing Fermyon. So I just want to see how this would operate. And by the way, an interesting thing is that Google did not show CAPTCHA. And if it would have showed CAPTCHA, it would be very interesting to see how Claude would have reacted, right? So you can see it already got some information. I don't know, it hasn't even opened any links, but it has got. There's a free tier that includes everything. There's a pro tier that includes, for a fixed cost, there is something. And then the platform is advertised as free to start, where Fermyon is 100% free to use, which is 100% accurate, right? So very, very interesting. You are able to control your browser. You're able to do things here and there. But I want to try out something interesting now. I want to try out some sort of terminal commands, right? Or even before that, I also see that there's an Excel, a Sheets option over here. So maybe we can try a little bit of financing, right? So let's say that I have a budget of 2 lakh INR, right? Can you create a spreadsheet showing my budget and how much I have to earn on a monthly basis while using Fermyon to make my revenue, or not even revenue, my bank balance about 10 lakhs in 6 months, right? Assume that I want to use Pro plan from Fermyon. Let's try to see how this works, because this would be interesting and it'll use another app which is outside of browser, which traditionally these systems were unable to use so far. So you can correctly see that it is able to understand that it has to open this application, which is open source implementation of Excel and Google Sheets and all of that. So it opens it with a specific command. It's using bash, and it's using this is by the way, this is not a real-time feed, right? This is I'm assuming that this is a screenshot based thing, so I'm not able to see it in real time what it's doing. Maybe I can if I just go ahead and open the real VNC server, but should be okay for now. So I'm not sure what's happening, but it looks like it has hanged. So I'm probably gonna stop it, try to see what we can do. Okay, so I'm assuming that my chat is lost. So let me try to paste the same prompt which I had earlier. Let's see what it does, right? So I can tell it what the pricing and all of it, but let's see if it can figure it out on its own. So it can already see it's on the pricing page. It's able to click it through and it's able to understand. So this is the first time it has opened Fermyon's pricing page now. Now it's opening the Google Sheets or Excel or whatever the local path. Failed to launch Java LDX. Java may not function correctly. So something has happened. So now clicking on this toggle screen control, I think I can go inside this VNC itself from the browser, and it has created something around this. So if I OK this, which Claude apparently did not do it. So if I OK this, now this is the, this is the balance. And you can see like Claude right now is not using formulas or anything. So let's try to ask it, can you bold the column headers and also use formula in Excel instead of hard coding numbers, right? Because this looks fine, but I'm not sure like if it is fine or not. So it would be easier if we have like formulas for everything. I'm not exactly sure what it's trying to do over here. Okay, so it's doing something. I don't know what it's doing. It's trying to select all the text, make some changes. Okay, this is the first time somebody which is not a human is controlling my computer, the GUI at least, and it feels a little weird, right? It feels a little weird to see, but you can see that it sort of like just gives up in the middle, right? It has not completed the job. If I cancel this, for example, you can see some weird texts are bold now instead of these things which should be, and I don't know, like it was showing me the formula earlier. So what happened to this? Like, why does Claude not click OK over here? And this is clearly not working. So I don't know if this is the fault of the software or how it works in this. But anyway, this is interesting. We also have a Xpaint software over here. So let me see if I can ask it, can you open Xpaint and draw a boat for me? I don't know if this would work, but worth giving it a shot. So you can see what's happening over here is that it's running a command and then it's taking a screenshot to check what has happened with that command, and then using that screenshot to analyze, it's running another command to trigger something in that specific thing. It's taking a screenshot to understand what has happened, then it's running another command or another click like mouse move, coordinates, all of that, and then it's trying to do everything very slowly, steadily. You can feel like there is a delay of like 2-3 seconds in every command, right? So and there are these warnings which are coming up occasionally. I don't even know like how Xpaint works. Where is the canvas to draw? I don't know. Do you draw it on the screen itself? How does it work? So anyway, but you can see, okay, so now we have some canvas. I apologize, but it seems like we are having some issues with Xpaint. Let me try one more time with a different approach. So it killed it and it started it again with some new geometry flags, right? Now it's running into permission errors within Docker and it's trying to kill it again, start it again, and it's stuck, I feel, and it has probably given up. Let me try it out as a human. So I'll click on new canvas like this and I'll, start drawing a boat. I mean, it's not as hard as it seems like. I mean, obviously, like, it has not reached an intelligence where it is able to figure out that this is probably where it could be, even though like I have never used Xpaint in my life, but I figured out that this is where it could be. Then you can have, I don't know, like ability to fill the boat, something like this. So you can have some clouds or something. It feels like we are getting there, right? It's not there yet. It's not there yet. These softwares, what you're seeing, they are like, very early previews of what the future looks like in terms of using your own computer. And this, for once, I know for a fact, this is so ridiculously great for people like, for example, my parents, who usually are struggling to find around if they want to do something complex around, let's say, Google Docs or something around that, where they want to insert, my mom is a school teacher, so she usually is creating assessments for students, and it includes a lot of mathematical expressions a lot of times, which is difficult to get right in a software like Word if you don't know your way around. So these things, these softwares can really assist in terms of like, when they're watching your screen, they're able to control it, but they have to be like really good as well, which they are getting better. So they are not good at all right now. They are getting better. But let me know, how do you find my drawing of a boat? I am assuming it's better than what AI can draw right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me just check how much credits did we actually burn in this little adventure. And it's close to 5 minus 3.12. So this little journey experimentation which we did costed us like about 1.6 USD. So it's not cheap. Obviously, it's not cheap. If you try to spend a little bit more time with it, you will probably end up burning like, you can easily burn like 50, $60 an hour easily, right? Just by chatting, and half of the time it will be like struggling to do things. So it's a very early technology, very early preview, but it's great that it works how it works right now. It's sandbox right now, so it's not even operating inside your operating system. It's operating in its own container. But within the next 5 years or so, I'm assuming this technology would be able to take control of your full computer, would be able to do anything you want on your own instructions. The security part of these technologies scared me the most, because would I be willing to give access to an AI, which is not running on my local system, which I don't know what it could potentially do? Even if it is running on my local system, it's still slightly risky because I don't understand the software, right? So unlike other softwares, this software is not exactly deterministic. You can tweak parameters and make the output and all of those things deterministic, but still, I mean, giving access to your photos, your videos, your personal stuff to a software which can basically do anything, it's sort of like giving control to somebody anonymous who says that they don't have any interest in you, but you don't know what happens, right? So anyway, this was an interesting video. Hopefully you liked it too. That is all for this one. If you liked it, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video really soon.